Oh, well, seeing I'm stuck in Kaikoura for the day with not much to do, I thought I'd do a video on the caravan that we've got, and maybe the ute that we tow it with. So basically, when we sold up our lifestyle block and we built our livable shed, we were initially looking at possibly a motorhome, and but with the cost of the COFs every 6 months in New Zealand on them, and the registration costs and the servicing costs and the insurance costs, and because we're not retired, so we only use it when we just for weekends or short holidays sort of thing, it just didn't really pan out, and so we decided to go for a caravan instead. And the big advantage with a caravan is that you can basically set up camp wherever you are, and then you can go and explore all around the area with your vehicle, and then a few days later hitch it back up and go to the next destination. So it really does make a lot of sense to have the caravan, and there's more room in a caravan. So yeah, so that's what we decided to do. And so what was really important to us is that it had to have a walk around bed in it, so we could get to both sides of the bed. With previous caravans, if you had to get up in the middle of the night, you had to climb over each other, and it was just and making the bed, you know, it was a real pain. So it had to have like an island bed in it. We wanted a separate shower. We didn't want to have a shower over the top of the toilet or anything like that, or you had to walk through the toilet to get to the shower, or you know, didn't want any of that. So and we wanted something with a decent sized fridge as well. So that was sort of the criteria. I didn't want anything too big. Our shed is 12 metres long by 7 metres wide, so I wanted something that would fit in there, but that we could park on one side, but obviously it just wasn't too long, and towing was a big thing, you know, with fuel costs going up, and I imagine it's just going to get worse and worse as the years go on. So I didn't particularly want anything overly heavy either. While the ute is designed to tow 3.5 tonne, I didn't want anything 3.5 tonne. You're just pulling around a whole lot of weight, and if you think about going somewhere for a weekend and taking the caravan, you just wouldn't. You just, nah, it's too much of a hassle. So nah, I just wasn't interested in that. So I wanted something a bit lighter. So anyway, we did a whole lot of research, and we came up, I kept on coming back to this manufacturer in Australia, Bailey Rangefinder, or Bailey Australia, that make the Rangefinder caravans. And they make, and in the Rangefinder series, there's the Nebula, and there's the Capricorn, and there's a Comet, Astro, I think. There's a few different layouts anyway. The Comet had a small slide out on the side of it, but we didn't really want anything with a slide out either. While it gives you a bit more room, it's just something else that's prone for leaking or giving you problems. So we wanted something pretty straightforward. And the other thing we wanted was a nice lounge, club lounge sort of type arrangement. So if we had people over, or we met people in a camp, we could all sort of sit in here and have a few drinks in the middle of winter, or whatever it happened to be, or you know, have someone over for dinner, or you know. So yeah. So anyway, we went and had a look at the Bailey Rangefinder, and at the time we had an English caravan, So we actually weren't in any hurry to buy a caravan. We went really along to have a look, but he offered us a really good trade-in price, and because it was a show, there was a lot of specials and bits and pieces going. So we ordered this. We upgraded it to have 2 solar panels on the roof, 2 storage batteries or house batteries, bigger water tanks and grey water tanks, so we can carry 140 litres of water and 140 litres of grey. What else do we do? Oh, we got the drawbar extended by 300 millimeters to allow the bike rack to be put on the front rather than the back of the caravan. It's a lot better on the front. They're not bouncing around like they are on the back. And we got the cover for the front of it. Also, they threw that in for free, which was really good. So that protects all the front of the caravan while we're towing it along. So we ended up with this caravan. The other thing too was that, to my way of thinking, if you've got a chassis that's sort of flexing a little bit as you're travelling along because it's built really light, then consequently the caravan's flexing, the walls and the ceiling and all the joins and everything are all moving, therefore you're prone for leaking. So we didn't want any of that. I wanted something nice and solid, that's going to go the distance, you know. So while there are a lot nicer caravans inside, you know, some of the other English caravans we looked at, and some other manufacturers were really nice inside, beautiful wood grain or furniture or whatever it happened to be, or layouts, but they are either too heavy or they're on a really light chassis, and yeah, I just don't think they're going to go the distance, to be honest. And some of the ones we went into, you know, you open the shower or close the shower door or the toilet door and you see the whole wall move. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to go in 5 or 10 years down the track. So yeah, if you Google Bailey Rangefinder, you'll come up with some tests that they did with these caravans in Australia. One on a track where they were towing it behind a 4-wheel drive and bouncing it over all sorts of bumps and things, and the other one where they actually towed it from the west coast of Australia right through to the east coast, through all the corrugations and dust and what have you, and to see whether it would go the distance, and it did, no problem at all. Yeah, so that was one of the highlights, one of the real reasons as well. And it's higher up, you know, being on that Australian chassis, it's higher up, it's got 15-inch wheels on it, so we don't have to worry about going into a service station or up a steep driveway or anything like that and dragging the back of the caravan on the road. Some of the caravans you see out there are really low with a huge overhang behind the axle, and they've got to be seriously prone for dragging the back of the caravan on the road going into driveways and things, so we don't have any problem with that at all. What else can I tell you about it? In the test they did in Australia, you might see about 12 people standing on the roof. That just shows you how strong they are. And yeah, weight wise, this comes in with the extra solar panel, extra battery, extra 300mm of drawbar and the bike rack and the bigger water tanks and what have you. This comes in dry weight is about 2.136 tonne. But there is one other thing that we really were quite sold on this particular layout for, and I'll show you that now. Where the bed is down the back here, you've got the shower on this side and toilet on this side. But if one of you want to get up early in the morning, or earlier than the other one, you can open the toilet door and bring it right around and close it, and there you have a fully contained or fully closed off bedroom, so people aren't getting disturbed while they're trying to sleep. So that was another key thing we really liked about it. So yeah, so I'll start down here. So this is the bedroom here. We've got cupboards up there for the clothes. We've got a wardrobe each side of the bed, storage for clothes, bits and pieces there, and it's exactly the same on the other side. We've got, as you can see there, there's a little cubby hole each side of the bed, with a power socket, a 12 volt socket and a 230 volt socket, plus a light. It's on either side of the bed. We've got the windows have all got the screens on them. So the top one comes down and it's like a fly mesh screen, or the other one comes up and it's closed off as a proper blind. And we've got the skylight above the bed, which is also either a fly screen or the proper blind. And around on this side here, we've got obviously your 230 volt plugs. We've got a TV antenna port for the dish on the roof, and this is a 12 volt socket. We just use this one for charging our phones at night. We normally have them over here. And this is a pull out TV mount. We haven't bothered using that. We're not the sort of people that lie in bed watching TV, so we just stick with the one at the other end of the caravan. Okay, oh, now this here, I'll show you this. This is also a privacy screen that comes across. I'll show you that from this side actually. Oh, hang on a minute. What I'll do, I'll show you the toilet first. Yeah, so this is the bathroom in here. So obviously you've got your toilet there. You've got a hand basin, and you've got your bathroom cupboard and bits and pieces in there, and a mirror, and towel rails and bits and pieces. You've also got another bathroom cupboard under there. Yeah, and this is the interesting bit too. What you can do is close this right the way around, so you close that off, and then if you bring the privacy screen across, now you have a totally enclosed bathroom, which is quite cool too. And then here's your shower, and here it's a good size shower. The rose is nice and high. and we've got a vent up top here, and you can turn the switch on for the extraction fan, and this here is a light. Give it a hit. So yeah, so that's the shower, and it works really well. It's got pretty good pressure in there, and it's a good size, so really happy with that. So I'll open all this back up again. Try and do this one-handed. Oh, not bad. Yeah, so that's the toilet and shower. We've got a air conditioning unit there, which is reverse cycle, so it can be heating as well as air conditioning. Another cupboard up here for bits and pieces. Another cupboard there, bits and pieces as well. Good size fridge freezer. As you can see, it's chock-a-block at the moment because of this COVID-19, so we wanted to stock up, and so yeah, it's a good size. You can certainly fit enough in there to keep you going for quite a few days. What else? On this side we've got the obviously the gas cooker, grill, and the oven. So it's nice to pull up sometimes on the side of the road with a nice view and make some scones for lunch or something. It's quite pleasant. More cupboards there, so that's like a pantry there, or that's what we use it for. There's another pull-out pantry here. So that's really good. We've got another cupboard under there for bits and pieces. There's a microwave there, drawer there for your pots and pans. So your crockery drawer, and then another cupboard there for bits and pieces. Oh, and I've put a water filter on in here now. We used to filter all the water that came into the caravan, but really it was pointless because it took quite a while to fill up the tanks, but also you didn't need the water to be filtered that you were showering with or flushing the toilet with or whatever. So this one here is purely hooked up to the kitchen tap, so that any water coming out the kitchen tap is filtered. So that's what that's about. We've got another cupboard here for your crockery. Another one here which we use for odds and sods, and at the moment it's food as well because of the situation. And then another one on this side for all sorts of bits and pieces up there as well. Yeah, so now underneath you've got your hot water tank under here, and on the other side here you've got your 2 batteries and a bit of storage as well, and I've also put an inverter under here, an 800 watt inverter, so that I can charge up any camera batteries or battery drill or any of those sorts of things I can do from here. Hair clippers and all the stuff that that we sort of use, and what we've done is just put another plug in here, and so the center one turns the inverter on, and then you just select whichever side you're using. So yeah, so that's really good. Obviously the TV here, and that there is a scanner for the dome up on the roof. So basically you just push the button, push scan, it automatically finds the satellite, and then you've got TV. So that works really well. Now below this, if I can lift this up a little bit, you'll see there's a washing machine under there. This is something that possibly we'll take out. You can actually open this. This here does open, if I can show you. There's the washing machine there. I think we're probably going to take that out, to be honest, because it's not something we use. It uses about 40 litres of water, and it's just easier to go to the laundromat, or if you're staying in a motor camp, just use their washing machines there. It's only a 3 kilo one, so you can't do a hell of a lot in it anyway. Yeah, so I think we will probably take that out, and I'll just put some shelves in here, and we'll use this as more storage. So that's probably what will happen there. And then around here we've got the stereo, obviously the fire alarm, not alarm, you know what I mean, fire siren. This comes up with our tanks and our battery monitoring. So we've still got full water tanks. We've got quarter of full of grey water, and our batteries are chock-a-block. And it shows you up here on the solar controller we've got 18.7 volts coming in at the moment, and the batteries are at 14.5 volts. So yeah, we're in really good shape. So there's probably not much else I can show you on the inside. I'll show you the bench. So this just all folds down and comes down, and then you've got a nice big bench space. The other thing I liked about this particular manufacturer of caravans is that all of the cupboard doors have got a positive lock on them, and they've got soft close features as well, so it closes on its own all nicely, but then it's locked. You can't open it, so you don't have to worry about doors flying open and bits and pieces while you're driving along. It's all taken care of. So as you can see, the front window is filthy at the moment because of driving through the rain the other day and roadworks, but yeah, normally it's nice. It's a nice big window at the front here, and so you've got the blind which comes up from the bottom, plus you've got one for the top if you wanted to just take a bit of that sun off. But having a window this size in New Zealand is really good, because in winter you want maximum sunlight coming in anyway, so that's another really nice feature. So I'll stop and have a cup of coffee or a break, and then I'll show you the outside. Okay, so I'll go over a bit of the outside. So you can see with the bike rack on the front there, so that drawbar was made 300 mils longer than standard, yeah, just to give us room to put that on there. Obviously 2 gas bottles on the front. This here's like a super padded cover which comes right up to here across, just to protect all the windows in the front of the caravan from any stone chips and things, and so yeah, that just zips up each side, which is really handy. There's a gas fitting on the front here. This is for an outside barbecue, so you basically just plug into that, and you can have your barbecue outside. It's got a tunnel boot, one at the front and one at the rear of the caravan, and that goes all the way through, so there's a door on each side, and so yeah, that's just for storage of, like in the front one here I've got my toolbox and spare toilet cassette and broom and bits and pieces. What else? The door can either be closed like it is now, or can come around here and it stays open, or we can undo these clips here, close it around, flick the switch, that stays there, and now it becomes a fly screen, and that's that stainless steel sort of mesh, so you can't break in through that, so it's still a nice secure door, but just allows the air to pass through. We've got a couple outside speakers there, so you can turn the radio to outside, so you can be sitting out here listening to a bit of music. That's the roller rocker suspension I was talking about. Yeah, works really well. It's good. This here is for the, if you want to bring the TV outside, you can sit outside here, plug your TV into either one and a 12-volt socket. This one here is for 230-volt power. Toilet cassette is in there. This is a fold down table, so you can put your drinks and nibbles on there, and this is the rear tunnel boot, so we've got deck chairs, and because this goes all the way through, I've got my surf caster, fishing rod and a couple of smaller fishing rods in there, and oh, look how dirty it is. It's terrible. I'll film this again when I've cleaned it at home, but at the moment it's filthy. Yeah, and on this side here I've got the waste hose, the hose for filling up the tanks, a bucket with all cleaning products, detergents, and yeah, all sorts of stuff in there anyway. It's our water tank there. I think I've got these locked. Oh no, I don't. I'll open this up and I'll show you. Yeah, so that's what's in there. So yeah, just all sorts of detergents and things, and containers with grey water hose, freshwater hose, and then on the other side there I've got fishing tackle box, and then in here I've got all the fishing rods all stacked up in there. Yeah, and so that's pretty much about it. This here is the hot water, so that's just like an exhaust for when it's heating up the hot water through the gas. This here is if you're in a motor camp or somewhere where there's a fresh water tap, well, you can basically just pipe it straight in rather than pumping from the tank and underneath. You can just plug it straight into there. This one here is where we plug into for power. That's where the lead plugs in. This here is another, what's that? It's another, I haven't actually used this one. Yeah, it's another 230-volt power supply, and then obviously the breakers and bits and pieces in here, and then it's the other tunnel boot on that side. So that's pretty much the caravan. You can see up there the two solar panels on top. So we got each one of those is 150 watts, 300 watts of solar, and there's the dome on the roof there for the TV. Oh, and I'll show you something else that I really liked about this caravan. Is underneath it is fiberglass. So if you look under here, this here, it's all fiberglass, all underneath there, you can see there. So there's no wooden floor or anything to rot in this caravan. It is basically a big chili bin on wheels. It's about 43mm thick, fiberglass and closed-cell polystyrene, and yeah, I mean it's just a big, it's nice and solid. It's just a big chili bin which is very strong and very well insulated. So it yeah, it works really well. So yeah, Bailey Rangefinder, we're really happy with it. And what we're towing it with, I'll just finish off another couple of minutes. We're towing it with a Mazda BT50, which is a 3.2 litre 5-cylinder diesel. I think it puts out oh, actually I'd have to look up the figures on what the horsepower is. I forget now what it is offhand. Oh, it's 147 kilowatts, I think is what it is. So a couple of the features that I really liked about the Mazda, the engine in it is basically a Volvo, who have a pretty good reputation. So engine wise, I was happy with that. 5-cylinder, happy with that. I know there are a lot of 4-cylinder, you know, 2 litre or 2.3 litre utes on the market with 2 turbos on them, which put out a similar sort of power. But yeah, I'm sort of a bit old school, I suppose. I think that when it comes to towing, you can't, there's no substitute for displacement. So yeah, and I do wonder with these small 2 litre sort of motors, you know, the 2 turbos are pretty hard on them, so I wanted something a bit bigger. So especially when you're working at towing the heavier weights. So yeah, and the other thing that was a deciding factor on this particular ute is that while it's not 4-wheel drive, it does have a rear diff lock. So it's got traction control in it, and you can push a button and it locks the rear diff as well. So if you do find yourself parked up somewhere and it's rained overnight or whatever and you're on a bit of wet grass, generally that rear diff lock will get you out of most situations that you get yourself into. In fact, it was put to the test on this trip actually. I towed a couple of tourists off a gravel riverbed where they had stopped for the night and then got stuck, and were actually stuck there for 2 days. That was on the west coast of the South Island, and with the diff lock in, I pulled them out without too much trouble. Had a couple of goes at it and got them out, and they were severely stuck, like sitting down, absolutely down onto the diffs, and well, you know, the ute was just basically totally bottomed out with the wheel spinning in mid-air. So yeah, so this got them out no problem. So yeah, that's pretty good for that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Pretty happy with our setup. Goes really well, tows really well, and I guess one advantage of the ute is that you can chuck a bit of gear in the back of it as well. If it's a wet day and you know, you got wet coats and bits and pieces while you've been setting up the caravan. You can just chuck it all on the back of the ute without worrying about it being wet. Oh, that's the other thing, I'm just looking at that awning there. This awning pulls out, comes out to probably about here somewhere, so it's probably two and a half or 3 meters out, and it's about 5 meters long. So yeah, you get a nice bit of shade on a sunny day. And the other thing I forgot to mention is the caravan is 22'6", so from back to the very front of the drawbar is about 8.5 meters. So yeah, it's a good size for the two of us, without being too big, and it's nice and light. So yeah. Oh well, thanks for listening to my rant today on, well, not a rant, but my video on the caravan and the ute. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Yeah, Bailey Rangefinder, or Bailey Australia, or if you want to sponsor us a caravan to trip around Australia with, would be much appreciated. We certainly do like your product, and yeah, it's been good so far. Yeah, so please give this a thumbs up, like and subscribe if you want to see more of our videos. It would be a great help to us, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.